blazing midday sun, as everyone busied themselves with their daily affairs, a shocking announcement echoed from the palace. Whoever can find the king will be rewarded with immense treasures. Yet one man smiled broadly upon hearing this challenge. It was Abu Nawas. What the people didn't know was, this game had been planned from the very beginning, by the master trickster himself. That day, the sky stretched clear without a single cloud. The heat was so intense that even the birds refused to fly too high. But inside the royal palace, the atmosphere was different, bustling and filled with curious whispers. The king, known for his arrogance, sat proudly on his golden throne, surveying the room with a sly smile. In front of him stood Abu Nawas, dressed simply, his eyes brimming with confidence. "Abu Nawas," the king called out, tapping his scepter against the marble floor. "I'm bored with ordinary games. I want to see just how clever you really are, as the legends claim." Abu Nawas bowed respectfully, pretending not to know where this conversation was heading. "I challenge you," continued the king. "Hide me from all my people. Make it so that not even the entire kingdom can find me." The entire hall fell silent. Officials and guards exchanged looks, raising their eyebrows. The challenge sounded impossible. Yet Abu Nawas showed no hesitation. With a thin smile, he asked, "May I set a small condition, Your Majesty?" The king laughed. "Whatever your condition, I shall agree so long as in the end I am truly hidden." Abu Nawas looked deep into the king's eyes, a strange gleam shining there. "Just one condition. During the hiding, Your Majesty must obey my commands completely without question." Again, the court fell silent. How dare Abu Nawas speak so boldly? But the king, in his overwhelming pride, quickly nodded. "Agreed. Show me your cleverness, Abu Nawas." Without wasting time, Abu Nawas bowed once more and turned away, murmuring, "Hide the king from the people? Sometimes the hardest thing to find is what's right before your eyes." Meanwhile, a grand proclamation was spread across the kingdom. Starting tomorrow, whoever finds the king shall be rewarded with his body weight in gold. News of this spread faster than wildfire across dry grasslands. Everyone prepared, but they didn't know that the game had already been won by Abu Nawas before it even began. That night, while most of the palace couldn't sleep, dreaming of mountains of gold, Abu Nawas chuckled quietly in his chamber. So, he lit a small lantern, grabbed an old cloth, and began scribbling notes. His plan was simple, at least according to his peculiar logic, yet it would seem absolutely insane to anyone else. "The best hiding place," he whispered, "is to make people believe they don't need to look where it's most obvious." The next morning, Abu Nawas instructed a few trusted people to carry out strange preparations. They decorated the town square with massive blood-red curtains. They built a stage in the middle of the city, complete with a sparkling, fake jeweled throne. They spread rumors. The king will appear and give hints. At the same time, Abu Nawas requested a large, old, horse-drawn carriage covered entirely in black cloth. Inside the carriage, the king sat, scowling. "Is this part of your plan, Abu Nawas? Making me sit like a prisoner?" Abu Nawas bowed politely, mischief glinting in his eyes. "I am merely following the condition, Your Majesty. Obedience without question." The king sighed heavily and leaned back, resigning himself to the game he had initiated. Outside, people from all corners began to arrive, farmers from villages, merchants from marketplaces, even warriors from distant lands. All with one goal: find the king and claim the golden reward. Yet, no one paid any attention to the shabby black carriage parked right in the center of the market. Everyone assumed it was just a merchant's cart or perhaps a traveling magician's wagon. Meanwhile, Abu Nawas sat casually by the roadside, munching on bread, watching the chaos unfold. Some royal guards even started kicking down doors, ransacking storehouses, searching caves, but not a single one thought to check the old carriage. They'll look in all the difficult places, Abu Nawas mused, while the treasure is right under their noses. As the sun climbed higher, the chaos worsened. Inside the carriage, the king grew restless. He peeked through a tiny hole and muttered, "Is it possible no one realizes I'm right here?" From afar, Abu Nawas merely smiled wider. This was only the beginning. He had an even bigger surprise planned. The marketplace became a sea of people, pushing and shouting, calling out the king's name as if he would appear from thin air. Under an ancient banyan tree, Abu Nawas simply watched, amused. A group of farmers even tore apart an old well, convinced the king was hiding underground. A band of youngsters scaled an ancient mosque tower, almost causing it to collapse, sure that the king was hiding at the top. Meanwhile, some warriors brought bloodhounds to track the king, but the dogs ran straight to the bakery, tempted by the smell of food rather than the king's scent. Trapped in the carriage, the king's discomfort grew. "How long must I endure this?" he muttered, fanning himself desperately. But he remained obedient, remembering Abu Nawas's warning. Obey without questioning. Strange rumors began to swirl. The king has turned into an eagle and flown north. A desert sorcerer has hidden him with mist magic. He's at the bottom of the river, breathing through a golden tube. Abu Nawas nearly burst into laughter, hearing the absurd stories. He knew, the wilder the people's imaginations, the safer his plan was. The most ridiculous moment came when a cloth merchant declared, "I've found him." Crowds gathered, only to find a golden goat freshly painted overnight. The chaos spiraled further. People accused each other of hiding the king. Fights broke out. Clothes were torn, rooftops dismantled. It was pure madness. Abu Nawas raised an eyebrow, enjoying the scene. They seek miracles, he thought, but the miracle is right in front of them. Meanwhile, the old black carriage remained in the middle of it all, blending into the city's madness. And inside it, the once proud king began to feel forgotten. 2 full days passed since the great announcement. At first, the people's spirit burned brightly. They searched every corner, shouted his name, as if their voices could summon a statue to life. But now, sweat, exhaustion, and despair replaced enthusiasm. Many had returned to their daily lives, selling and bargaining as if the grand hunt was just a dream from the night before. Inside the black carriage, the heat worsened. The king hunched over, his clothes soaked in sweat. "How could it be that no one searches for me here?" he whispered bitterly. "Have I become meaningless to my people?" Whenever he peeked out, he saw only normal marketplace bustle, no search parties, no royal banners waving for him. He began to feel abandoned. As these doubts filled his mind, Abu Nawas approached through the crowd, moving casually, smiling innocently. He bowed and whispered, "Your Majesty, may I offer you a choice?" Half angry, half relieved, the king snapped, "What choice, Abu Nawas?" Suppressing a mischievous grin, Abu Nawas replied, "Right now, no one is looking for you. They believe you've either fled or turned into something else. If you wish to be found, I can make it happen." The king eyed him suspiciously. "What's the condition?" "Simple," said Abu Nawas. "Stay inside the carriage and trust me completely. No questions, no doubts." The king growled softly, but deep inside, fear outweighed his anger. He knew, if he remained hidden too long, his role as king might truly be forgotten, and that would be disastrous. Reluctantly, he nodded. "Do what you must," he muttered. Abu Nawas patted the carriage like a merchant selling goods and strolled into the center of the marketplace. He then shouted loudly, "Hear me, people. Whoever finds the precious black carriage shall find the greatest treasure the kingdom has ever hidden." Heads turned. They looked at each other, that old black carriage they had ignored all this time. Within seconds, the crowd surged toward it, jostling like ants finding a drop of honey. Inside the carriage, the king nearly fainted from the sudden commotion. But he knew. Finally, he would be found. That was exactly what Abu Nawas intended. Hide the king among the crowd and only reveal him when everyone was about to give up. The black carriage was now surrounded by dozens, even hundreds of people. Everyone shouted. Everyone scrambled. They were sure within it lay the kingdom's treasure Abu Nawas had proclaimed. Break open the door. Rip apart the cloth. Don't let anyone else get it first. Several strong men pulled the carriage doors open with great effort. Their eyes widened and instantly, the crowd fell silent. There, inside, sat their king, stunned, disheveled, and drenched in sweat. Someone finally screamed, "The king! It's our king!" Cheers erupted. But amid the noise, Abu Nawas stepped forward calmly. With a voice loud enough for the entire market to hear, he declared, "People of the kingdom, see, the greatest treasure of this land is not gold nor jewels, but your king himself. That is why I hid him in the simplest place so you would search with your hearts, not with greed." The people fell silent. His simple words struck deep. Even the king, who was initially furious, slowly lowered his head. He realized Abu Nawas had not only completed the challenge, but also delivered a powerful lesson about the meaning of a ruler's presence among his people. That very day, the king summoned Abu Nawas to the palace. With far more humility than before, the king said, "Abu Nawas, I challenged you to hide me. And you not only succeeded, you taught me the true meaning of presence. Whatever you wish, ask and I shall grant it." Abu Nawas smiled lightly. "I ask only one thing, Your Majesty," he said calmly. "What is it?" "Let the people live peacefully without fear or confusion from such frivolous games." The king paused. Then he burst into laughter, a laugh full of relief. No longer arrogance. From that day on, Abu Nawas's name grew even greater not only for his cleverness, but for his sharp and wise heart. And as for the king, he never again created strange challenges. Because he knew in that kingdom, the only thing harder to find than the king himself was the wisdom of Abu Nawas.